want to start this video with an opening invocation to open this sacred temple. Just feel the air hums before you, even before you speak. A stillness spreads across dimensions, the quiet before remembrance. You are entering sacred space now, the threshold between lifetimes. So breathe. Feel the pulse beneath your skin, the rhythm that has carried you across galaxies to this moment. The light remembers you. The codes within your DNA begin to shimmer. In the unseen golden geometries awaken, spinning fields of light tracing the star patterns of your soul. The Merkaba stirs. It is the chariot of your divine essence, the vessel that knows every lifetime you have ever lived. You are not learning, you are remembering. You are not beginning, you are returning. So step through the doorway. Leave the noise of the world behind you. With each breath, anchor deeper into your heart. Here, truth is law. Here, love is language. Here, you rise not by effort, but by alignment. So welcome to the remembrance. Welcome home to the 13 sacred codes of the Merkaba. Let's be real. Life has been calling you to something higher. You felt it in the ache that never quite goes away. In the quiet moments, when you know there's more to who you are than you've been living. You've built resilience. You've healed. You've learned. And yet your soul still whispers, there's a deeper light waiting. This isn't about chasing enlightenment. It's about remembering that you are enlightenment itself. The storm you've walked through wasn't punishment. It was initiation, a sacred dismantling of everything false so that your true geometry could emerge. The Merkaba isn't something outside of you. It's the pattern of your divinity that's always been there, waiting for you to live in resonance with it. Remember, you're not broken. You're being rebuilt, cell by cell, truth by truth, code by code. And when you start living through these 13 sacred virtues, your entire energy field begins to spin differently. You stop surviving life and start co-creating it. So welcome back, my loves, to Lemuria, the Art of Remembering. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Cherry, your spiritual life coach, Energy Alchemist, Numerologist, and guide of Lemurian remembrance. Before we dive any deeper, if this has already stirred something in your soul, hit the subscribe button, tap that notification bell so that you never miss a transmission. This isn't just content, it's a frequency, a sacred remembering, a space where you're called out and called home all in the same breath. And like this video, drop a heart or fire emoji in the comments. Tell me what landed for you at the end of this video. Let's co-create the new earth together, one activation at a time. So what truly is the Merkaba? The Merkaba means light, spirit, body. It's the living geometry of consciousness itself, the spinning star tetrahedron that unites heaven and earth within you. But it's not just sacred geometry or a meditation technique. It's the energetic architecture of who you became when you live in coherence with your thoughts, emotions, and actions, and they move as one divine rhythm. Think of it as your soul's vehicle of light. Every thought you think, every emotion you nurture, becomes part of its rotation. When you live in fear or disconnect, the field slows, becomes heavy. When you live in truth, love, and integrity, it accelerates and shines. The Merkaba responds to your state of being. It's not something that you activate once and forget. It's something you maintain through how you live. Every moment of honesty, compassion, or courage is a micro activation. Every time you choose peace over panic, faith over fear, your geometry spins brighter. The science of it, if you want to blend the mystical with the modern, in resonance, the Merkaba is a coherent electromagnetic field generated by your heart and stabilized by your mind. When you align emotions and thoughts, your field becomes ordered, crystalline, and strong. That coherence is the energetic signature of enlightenment. So ask yourself right now, what frequency have I been radiating? When you walk into a room, do you expand others or absorb their chaos? That awareness alone begins to shift the spin of your light body. Your Merkaba doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be present, to show up in your humanity and still choose love. Because each time you do, your field learns a new rhythm. And that new rhythm becomes the song of your ascension. Now, long before we spoke of chakras or manifestation, ancient civilizations understood the Merkaba as a living consciousness. In Lemuria, initiates were taught to harmonize emotions and thoughts before even attempting light body travel. They knew that the power within virtue would collapse the geometry. They knew that power without virtue would collapse the geometry. In Egypt, the priests and priestesses of the old temples of Hathor and Thoth carried the same codes forward. Guardians of the spinning light, keepers of the star tetrahedron wisdom. They called it the chariot of the soul, the ascension vehicle that carried consciousness between worlds. But here's the truth. You don't need to escape your body to experience it. The new initiation is embodiment, the real mastery of bringing heaven through your heart into your human life. Lemurian elders trained initiates not through memorization, but through frequency. Students would spend moons embodying one virtue, truth, compassion, integrity, before moving on. Each virtue calibrated the light body to a pure spin. Only when all aspects of self-resonance in harmony could one safely awaken the full Merkaba field. That's what the 13 sacred codes represent. The map back to that original coherence. They are not commandments, they are actually coordinates. They show you how to live as light while still walking in human form. And they are rising again now because humanity is ready. You are ready. The old paradigms of fear and hierarchy are crumbling, and the new geometry of consciousness is emerging. One built on unity, truth, and love, lived out loud. So as we journey through these teachings, remember, this isn't theory. These are living frequencies encoded in your very DNA. You're not listening to learn. You're listening to remember. So take a breath, soften your heart, and let the light settle in as we walk together through the 13 sacred virtues, the living keys that awaken your Merkaba and anchor your divine blueprint here on earth. So the 13 sacred codes are, the first, truth, the foundation of alignment. Truth is the first gate of the Merkaba because it anchors every rotation of your light. When you lie to yourself, your geometry fractures. When you stand in truth, it stabilizes. Truth isn't always comfortable. It dismantles illusions and demands courage, but it frees your energy to move without distortion. In numerology, truth vibrates at the number 1. New beginnings, leadership, the seed of creation. When you embody truth, you plant clarity in every dimension of your life. But the shadow aspect is self-betrayal, pretending, silence when your heart knows otherwise. But embodiment speaks one honest sentence that you've been avoiding. Feel how your body softens when you release pretense and reflect, where have I been hiding my truth to stay safe? What does my body feel like when I speak honestly? And if you want to say an affirmation for this truth, my truth is my temple. When I speak from integrity, my light body shines. The second sacred virtue is love, the highest frequency. Love is the current that powers the Merkaba's spin. It's not sentimentality. It's the magnetic law that holds galaxies together. When you radiate love without condition, every energy body harmonizes with source. Numerologically speaking, love aligns with number 2, union, balance, partnership. It invites you to dance between giving and receiving, masculine and feminine, self and others. But the shadow aspect is conditional affection, martyrdom, attachment disguised as devotion. The embodiment practices self-love first thing in the morning, a gentle hand on your heart whispering, I am safe to love and be loved. So reflect, do I love to be needed or do I love to expand? How can I show love today without losing my boundaries? And affirm it with, I am the frequency of love. Every breath I exhale expands compassion across worlds. The third sacred virtue is authenticity, the expression of the soul. Authenticity is the courage to be the shape of your own soul. The Lemurians taught that the light body dims when we copy others. It brightens when we live our own original design. It vibrates to the 3, creativity, communication, joyful self-expression. Authenticity activates the throat and radiant bodies. When you're living in the shadow aspect, people-pleasing, performance, shape-shifting for approval all show up. Embodiment says no once today where you'd usually say yes, just to keep the peace. Feel the liberation ripple through your aura and reflect, what masks am I ready to set down? What truths of my longing to be voiced or created? And affirm, my real self is sacred. Every time I honor my voice, my Merkaba expands in color and light. The fourth virtue is peace, the still point of power. Peace is not the absence of chaos, but the mastery of the calm within it. It's the still point from which all clarity arises. The Lemurians understood that peace was the language of divine intelligence, a frequency that opens all higher channels. In numerology, peace vibrates to the number 4, stability, grounding, and the creation of solid foundations. But if you're in the shadow aspect, you feel restlessness, reactivity, living in mental noise. But the embodiment, pause 3 times a day for 60 conscious breaths. Let your nervous system remember the stillness and reflect, what habits or environments disturb my peace? How can I cultivate inner silence amidst all the external noise? And affirm it with, peace lives within me. I am the calm eye in every storm. The 5th virtue is wisdom, the light of discernment. Wisdom is knowledge married to experience and tempered by grace. It doesn't shout, it whispers through intuition and quiet knowing. The wise don't react, they respond from alignment. In numerology, wisdom vibrates to the number 5, transformation, curiosity, and the freedom to evolve. But the shadow aspect lives in arrogance, over-analyzing, mistaking intellect for truth. But the embodiment, before making a decision, place one hand on your heart and one on your belly and ask both, what feels right? And then just listen and reflect, what lessons keep repeating itself in my life? How do I know when truth is speaking versus fear? And affirm, I move through life guided by divine intelligence, learning with humility and grace. Now, the 6th virtue is harmony, the art of coherence. Harmony is the meeting point of opposites, the dance between strength and softness, giving and receiving, doing and being. When you live in harmony, your energy field becomes music, your life a symphony. In numerology, harmony vibrates to the number 6, balance, beauty, and the alignment of the heart and mind. But if you're in the shadow, then it's just drama, addiction, controlling others to avoid discomfort, self-sacrifice for the sake of peacekeeping. But embodiment, consciously harmonizing one polarity today, speaking when you usually stay silent, when you'd usually stay silent, rest when you'd normally push, and then reflect. Where am I forcing outcomes instead of flowing with them? What does harmony feel like in my body? And affirm, I align my energy into perfect harmony. My presence creates peace wherever I go. Now, the 7th sacred virtue is gratitude, the gateway to elevation. Gratitude is a frequency that multiplies everything it touches. It transforms ordinary moments into miracles and opens your Merkaba to higher dimensions of joy. In numerology, gratitude vibrates to the number 7, spiritual insight and divine perspective. Now, if you're in the shadow, that's all about entitlement, focusing on lack, forgetting blessings already received. But embodiment, before bed, write 3 gratitudes for lessons that you've learned, not just wins, and feel your frequency rise. And reflect, what beauty do I overlook when I rush through life? How does appreciation shift my perception of challenges? And affirm, every breath is a blessing. Gratitude is the key that keeps my heart open. Now, the 8th virtue is kindness, power in service. Kindness is strength in gentle form, the courage to remain open when the world closes. True kindness flows from sovereignty, not from guilt or obligation. It softens your aura and makes your light irresistible. In numerology, kindness vibrates the number 8, infinity, abundance, and mastery in service. But if you're in the shadow aspect, then it's all about people-pleasing, self-neglect, rescuing others to feel valuable. But embodiment, perform one silent act of kindness today with no need for recognition. Feel how giving becomes receiving. And then reflect, when has my kindness come from fear of rejection rather than love? How can I balance compassion with self-respect? And affirm it with, my kindness carries clarity. Through service, I expand abundance for all. Now, the 9th sacred virtue is faith, the bridge beyond sight. Faith is trust in motion. It's the invisible architecture that holds you when your logic collapses. Every leap you've taken without proof strengthened your light body more than any plan could ever do. In numerology, faith vibrates to the number 9, completion, devotion, and the closing of karmic cycles through surrender. But the shadow aspect lives in doubt, control, cynicism, disguised as realism. But embodiment, When fear whispers, what if? Answer aloud. Even then, you'll arise. Feel the shift in your chest and reflect. Where am I withholding trust because I've been hurt before? What if everything happened right now is sacred timing? And then affirm, I walk by faith, not fear. The unseen world always supports my path. The 10th virtue is grace, the soft power of the divine. Grace is the energy that flows when resistance dissolves. It's the gentle current that turns effort into ease. When you live in grace, synchronicities multiply. Not because life got easier, but because you did. In numerology, grace vibrates through the number 10, radiant completion, divine flow and wholeness. But the shadow aspect is harshness, perfectionism, striving to earn worth. For embodiment, you meet one's self-criticism with compassion and replace should with I choose. And then reflect, where could I allow more ease without guilt? What would happen if I trusted my natural rhythm? And affirm, grace moves through me effortlessly. I walk in divine flow. The 11th sacred virtue is forgiveness, the alchemy of freedom. Forgiveness is the act of setting yourself free. It dissolves cords of pain and restores the flow of energy to the heart. True forgiveness doesn't justify, it liberates. In numerology, forgiveness vibrates to the number 11, intuitive mastery, and illumination through release. But the shadow aspect lives with resentment, shame, replaying old stories. For embodiment, you can do this by writing a release letter to yourself or another. Bless it and safely burn it to symbolize returning to the light. And then reflect, who or what still drains my energy when I think of them? What part of me most deserves forgiveness? And then affirm, I forgive freely and release the past. My light expands as my heart opens. The 12th sacred virtue is discipline, devotion in motion. Discipline is self-love translated into structure. It's not punishment, it's devotion that honors your purpose. When you commit, the universe will always respond. In numerology, discipline vibrates also at the number 3, order, rhythm, and sacred routine. But in the shadow aspect, it's inconsistency, avoidance, procrastination. But the embodiment, you choose one sacred habit and honor it daily for 13 days. Breathe through the resistance and then reflect. Where do I abandon myself when things get uncomfortable? How would consistency change my relationships with my light? And then affirm, my discipline is my devotion. Through practice, I embody mastery. Now, the 13th and final virtue is humility, the gateway to mastery. Humility is the final code, the surrender of ego into oneness. It's not shrinking, it's standing in truth without needing to prove it. The humble heart becomes a clear channel for divine intelligence. In numerology, humility vibrates at the 4, transformation, rebirth, and the integration of all prior lessons. In the shadow, it's superiority, defensiveness, spiritual ego. But the embodiment, the next time you're praised, simply breathe and receive. Let guidance, not ego, respond. And reflect, do I listen to understand or to be right? How can I serve today without needing recognition? And then affirm, I am a vessel of divine light. Through humility, I remember I am one with all. So how do we integrate these 13 codes? Well, the first practice is a cycle practice. Dedicate 13 days or moons to one virtue per day or per moon cycle. Notice how your mood, relationships, and energy shifts. The second practice is a daily mantra. Each morning, speak the affirmation of your chosen code. The third practice is energetic reset. 3 times a day, pause for 13 breaths of gratitude and presence. The fourth practice is nightly reflection. Journal what virtue guided you today. What shadow asked for love? The fifth practice is physical anchoring. Walk barefoot on the earth. Drink water, get hydrated with intention. Rest without guilt. And the sixth practice, creative expression. Paint, sing, move. Let your virtue become motion. Feel these 13 lights orbiting you now. A geometric symphony spinning faster as coherence deepens. You are living proof that divinity is not distant. It breathes in every choice. So let's now weave these virtues into the architecture of numerology and the 10 energy body, exploring the collective ascension and the new earth Merkaba. So every soul incarnates under a specific rhythm of numbers, a sacred pattern of purpose. Numerology is the language of divine mathematics that shows how the universe codes your lessons. When you understand your numbers, you understand how your light body learns. And if you don't know your numbers yet, I have a free quick guide in the description box for you to download. Now, every soul is born under a sacred mathematical pattern, a celestial code written in numbers. Your numerology is not random. It's the geometry of your light body in motion. Each core number reflects a lesson, a frequency, and a virtue that helps you embody your Merkaba more completely. When you align with your numbers, with your sacred codes, you stop resisting your own design. The 10 energy bodies are the living architecture through which the 13 sacred virtues express themselves. They are the divine technology of your soul, the circuitry through which light becomes life. When each body resonates with its corresponding virtue, your Merkaba spins with clarity, coherence, and radiance. You stop searching for alignment and become alignment. Your soul body, the eternal flame of truth, your soul body is the home of truth, and it's a part of you that remembers that you are original, beyond time, form, and fear. When you speak and live from truth, your soul body brightens, reminding you that you are not a seeker of light, but you are light itself. The negative mind, the sacred protector, transformed by forgiveness. The negative mind is not a flaw, it's your sacred guardian. It alerts you to danger and helps you discern what's right for your soul. When guided by the virtue of forgiveness, fear turns into wisdom. You stop projecting past pain into the present and learn to perceive without distortion. Now, the positive mind, the visionary, illuminated by gratitude. The positive mind is the dreamer within the visionary who sees possibilities beyond the known. When expanded through gratitude, it governs optimism into manifestation. Gratitude is your alchemy. It transforms what you have into more than enough. The neutral mind, the sacred balance of wisdom and humility. The neutral mind is the seat of discernment, the inner witness that sees all sides without judgment. Wisdom refines its perception. Humility keeps it pure. And together they transform neutrality from detachment into enlightened compassion. This is where divine guidance becomes clear. The physical body is the temple of discipline and peace. Your body is the vessel of your soul, the temple through which all divine light is grounded. Discipline keeps it clear and strong, and peace harmonizes its rhythm. When you treat your body as holy ground, resting, nourishing, and honoring it, your spirit has a stable home from which to radiate. Now, the arc line, the halo of harmony and kindness, this is the bridge between heaven and human, a luminous band that governs intuition, boundaries, and manifestation. When infused with harmony, it holds balance between action and rest. When strengthened by kindness, it radiates a magnetic warmth that uplifts others simply through your presence. Aura is the field of love and grace. Your aura is your energetic atmosphere, the frequency that speaks before you do. When expanded through love, it becomes a sanctuary that others feel safe within. When infused with grace, it turns magnetism into healing. You become a walking blessing, effortlessly elevating spaces that you enter. The pranic body is the breath of faith. The pranic body is your infinite life force, the sacred inhale that connects you to source. Faith keeps its current flowing. Trust in the unseen, belief in divine timing, and surrender to the greater rhythm. When faith anchors your breath, every inhale becomes a prayer, and every exhale becomes creation. The subtle body is the whisper of authenticity and wisdom. Your subtle body perceives beyond the physical. It's your intuitive radar, sensing the truth behind words and energy. When aligned with authenticity, your intuition sharpens because you're no longer lying to yourself. When guided by wisdom, your perception becomes clear, refined, and soul-led. The radiant body is the sun of love, grace, and truth. The radiant body is the golden light others feel when you walk into a room. It glows brightest when you live in love, truth, and grace. When your inner and outer worlds align, this is the frequency of effortless leadership. where your light doesn't shout, it simply shines. When these 10 energy bodies vibrate in unison through the 13 virtues of your Merkaba, it becomes fully activated, balanced above and below, within and without. You don't chase enlightenment, you embody it. Another practice you can try is to visualize each energy body as a sphere of light surrounding you, 10 luminous layers expanding outward from your heart. As you recite each virtue, imagine its corresponding sphere, pulsing brighter until all 10 energy bodies glow together like a unified sun. Feel your Merkaba spinning around you, calm, strong, and unbreakable, and then reflect and feel into it. Which energy body feels the strongest today? Which one calls for nourishment and balance? What virtue can I live more deeply to strengthen that body? The collective ascension of the new earth Merkaba. The individual Merkaba is never isolated. Each awakened heart forms a node in the planetary grid, a vast crystalline network linking continents and souls. Every act of love stabilizes the grid. Every moment of integrity strengthens its spin. The collective Merkaba of humanity is activating. Earth herself is remembering her light through us. As you embody these 13 virtues, you contribute to the coherence of the whole. You become a beacon of harmonic frequency within the global geometry. This new ascension is not about escaping the human experience. It's about transforming it. The Lemurian vision of the new earth is unity in diversity. Countless Merkabas spinning in resonance, creating a world where wisdom guides technology, kindness fuels leadership, and truth becomes a language we all live by. You do not have to wait for ascension. You are living it right now. Every time you choose peace over panic, grace over guilt, or love over fear, you alter timelines. You anchor heaven into earth throughout your daily choices. And here's another reflection for you. How does my personal embodiment of virtue uplift the collective field? What legacy of light am I building with my words, actions, and energy? And you can affirm with, my light strengthens the grid. Through me, the new earth remembers itself. I want to take you through a final transmission and integration. So take a deep breath. Feel the 13 virtues orbiting round you, 13 suns spinning within your heart galaxy. The Merkaba hums, crystalline and alive, translating your intentions into light. Remember, spiritual mastery isn't an escape from being human. It's the art of being fully human while remembering you are divine. You are the temple, the technology, and the transmission. So speak truth even when it trembles. Love without losing yourself. Live with authenticity. Choose peace as your power. Seek wisdom before reaction. Move in harmony, not haste. Give thanks, gratitude, which multiplies grace. Be kind even when others forget how. Walk by faith, not sight. Let grace soften your edges. Forgive again and again. Practice discipline with devotion. And stay humble for humility, which opens heaven. Let these virtues rewire your nervous system and rewrite your story. Let them become the rhythm of your breath, the way your feet meet the earth, and the song of your soul as you rise each morning. That's it for now, beautiful soul. Again, let me know what was your aha moment in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, bye for now.